Welcome to today's informational webinar for the NIH Common Fund's Precision Medicine with AI, Integrating Imaging with Multimodal Data program, also known as PRIMED AI. Today's informational webinar will cover the Validation Center funding opportunity, which uses the U54 activity code. The full funding opportunity number is RFA-RM-27-014. The due date for this NOFO is October 2nd, 2026. My name is Caitlin Browning, and I'm from the Office of Strategic Coordination, the office that runs the Common Fund. I am on the PRIMED AI program team alongside Dr. Sahana Kuke, also from the Common Fund, Dr. Sangeeta Bhargava from NEI, and Dr. Chris Kandarpa from NIBIB. You'll hear from each of us today as we introduce you to the NIH Common Fund and to the PRIMED AI program. You will also hear from Dr. Rui Pereira de Sá from NIBIB and Dr. Emily Greenspan from NCI, who will walk you through the funding opportunity, explain eligibility requirements, and provide guidance on the application process.
Thank you for joining us today for this webinar on new funding opportunities in the NIH Common Fund's PRIMED AI program. My name is Sahana Kuke, and I'm the program leader for PRIMED AI. To start, I'd like to take a few minutes to give you some background on the NIH Common Fund, the program office sponsoring this initiative. The NIH Common Fund was established by Congress in 2004. Its mission is to support bold scientific programs that catalyze discovery across all areas of biomedical and behavioral research. What sets the Common Fund apart from other NIH programs is its scope. Rather than focusing on a single disease or organ system, it invests in research that benefits the entire NIH enterprise and the broader scientific community. Common Fund programs are designed to be novel, transformative, catalytic, goal-driven, and synergistic. In practice, that means they tackle important challenges that no single NIH institute, center, or office could address on its own. These are the kinds of problems where a coordinated NIH-wide effort is truly needed to make meaningful progress. A defining feature of the Common Fund is how it brings people together, both scientifically and administratively. On the scientific side, researchers from many different disciplines provide input that informs the design of new programs. The goal is to make sure that program design reflects the real landscape of the science, not just any one perspective. For PRIMED AI, this included a strategic planning workshop held in March 2025, which brought together over 1,000 subject matter experts, community members, and NIH staff to identify high-priority opportunities and challenges in the field. That input directly shaped how the program was designed. After awards are made and the program launches, funded researchers then participate in interdisciplinary research consortia, working across institutions and specialties toward shared goals. On the management side, leadership and staff from across NIH, from individual institutes, centers, and offices, work together to develop funding opportunities and provide oversight throughout the life of each program. This collaborative approach helps ensure that Common Fund programs are well coordinated and that they have broad institutional support across NIH. Currently, the Common Fund supports more than 20 active programs. Each one is designed to change the trajectory of biomedical research, whether by accelerating emerging science, breaking down barriers that have slowed progress, or supporting high-risk, high-reward ideas that might not fit neatly within a traditional funding mechanism. Previous Common Fund programs have made significant contributions across a wide range of areas, from genome editing and human microbiome research to structural biology, pragmatic clinical trials, biomedical research training, and the creation of AI-ready data resources. These programs have generated new knowledge, tools, and resources that continue to benefit researchers and patients long after the programs themselves have concluded. Today, we are here to introduce the newest addition to this portfolio, the Precision Medicine with AI, Integrating Imaging with Multimodal Data program, or PRIMED AI. PRIMED AI was approved by the NIH Council of Councils in April 2025, and it represents the Common Fund's investment in harnessing the power of artificial intelligence to transform how clinical imaging data is used in patient care. In the remainder of this webinar, we will walk you through the program's goals, structure, and the specific funding opportunities that are now available to you as potential applicants. Let's get started.
I'm Chris Kandarpa, the Director of Research Sciences and Strategic Directions at the National Institute of Biomedical Imaging and Bioengineering. As you just heard, the NIH Common Fund aims to accelerate emerging areas in health-related science and technology. Today, nothing is more in the news than artificial intelligence. Concomitantly, the NIH supports advances in precision clinical medicine. The intersection of these two developments provides the rationale for launching this PRIMED AI project. Having said that, the practice of precision medicine requires a holistic integration of all available patient health data. Clinical imaging has and always will play a central and critical role in modern healthcare. Unfortunately, imaging is used in isolation and seldom included as a data element in current AI models for clinical medicine. Fortunately, advancements in data science offer new opportunities to better integrate clinical imaging and conventional non-imaging health data. Importantly, to be successfully accomplished, these developments must be driven by a team of scientists with expertise in various disciplines. And the governance and best practices of these innovations should be driven by the entire community of stakeholders.
PRIMED AI goal is to support the development and adoption of innovative, reliable, and cost-effective AI-based clinical decision support tools that integrate clinical imaging with other health data to improve care across a wide range of conditions. The PRIMED AI initiatives are organized around 4 key topics, as you can see in this diagram on the right-hand side. The first one is imaging and multimodal data integration, that is to improve access to and integration of clinical images with other health data types. AI algorithm and tool development. This is to develop and refine AI-based tools to support diagnosis, management, and prediction. The third is clinical implementation, that is to test PRIMED AI clinical decision support tools to advance precision medicine approaches. And lastly, trust and coordination. And this is to promote program cohesion, adaptability, scientific rigor, validation, and transparency. The scope of PRIMED AI is that clinical imaging includes any FDA-approved imaging modality used in patient care, such as radiology, ophthalmology, endoscopy, laparoscopy, and dermatology. PRIMED AI projects will use clinical imaging as the foundation and combine it with other multimodal health data, including EHR data, labs, omics, and wearables, to address clinical needs and support precision medicine. The expected deliverables. PRIMED AI will produce innovative and reliable AI-based tools, best practices for integrating imaging and multimodal data in precision medicines, and lastly, durable stakeholder relationships to expand and sustain the field.
The PRIMED AI team has developed 4 sub-goals that iterate on the primary goal and scope just described and underpin the project's funding opportunities. These sub-goals are highlighted in yellow: imaging with multimodality data integration to facilitate access to and integration of clinical images and multimodal data. Highlighted in blue, AI algorithm and tool development to develop and iterate on AI-based algorithms and tools to advance clinical diagnosis, management, and prediction. Highlighted in red, clinical implementation to test primed AI clinical decision support tools and catalyze new precision medicine approaches. And finally, highlighted in green, building trust and ensuring coordination with the primed AI ecosystem through coordinated activities to ensure program and community cohesion, adaptability, scientific validation and rigor, and operational transparency. Diving deeper into the description of notices of funding opportunities, but refraining for now from a description of funding mechanisms, the 5 primed AI NOFAs are: 1. Data to models, academic industrial partnership. Phase 1 during the first 2 years will require demonstration of data integration and interoperability. Phase 2, upon successful completion of Phase 1, will require developing models and testing their performance during these final 3 years. 2, translating models to clinic will require rigorous optimization of multimodal AI models for broad clinical use. Phase 1 will require the development of AI tools which may be built utilizing existing databases. Phase 2 will require the evaluation of model utility in the real world. And to ensure trust and coordination, the 3 NOFOs shown in green boxes are playbook to create and codify standardized frameworks for the responsible development and use of primed AI models, including data ontology, technical management of data, error mitigation, and preparation for eventual interaction with regulatory agencies, the Logistics Center to administer the entire program and evaluate its performance, provide teaming support, and engage with stakeholder communities, and finally, the Validation Center, which will function coordinating with the Logistics Center to verify, validate, quantify uncertainty, and promote reproducibility of primed AI tools.
All notice of funding opportunities or NOFOs for primed AI will use cooperative agreement mechanism or will be using U activity code. This means that the NIH staff are highly involved and have scientific or programmatic involvement throughout the project. The NIH's role is to support the awardees' activities through scientific partnership, but not to take on a dominant role. The awardee is responsible for the project's overall direction. Playbook NOFO will use the U01 activity code. This code is used for supporting a discrete, specified, circumscribed project to be performed by the named investigator or investigators in an area representing his or her specific interest and competencies. Data to model and model to clinic NOFOs will use UG3-UH3. The UG3-UH3 cooperative agreement involves 2 phases. The UG3 phase for up to 2 years is designed to support a project with specific milestones to be accomplished by the end of the period. The UH3 phase is to provide funding for up to 3 additional years following successful completion of the UG3. The Logistics Center will use the U24 activity code, which is used for projects that are resource-related research projects. It funds large-scale, multidisciplinary infrastructure projects. The Validation Center will use the U54 activity code, which is a specialized center cooperative agreement. This activity code is used for funding large-scale, multi-component research programs designed to address complex, multidisciplinary biomedical problems. A major emphasis of primed AI NOFOs is team science and scientific collaboration.
This table contains key information for all 5 of the primed AI funding opportunities. Applications for the Playbook U01 opportunity, RFA-RM-27-011, are due on October 9th, 2026. Applications for the Data to Model Academic Industrial Partnerships UG3-UH3 opportunity, RFA-RM-27-012, are due on October 19th, 2026. Applications for the Model to Clinic UG3 UH3 opportunity, RFA-RM-27-013, are due on October 19, 2026. Applications for the Validation Center U54 opportunity, RFA-RM-27-014, are due on October 2, 2026. Applications for the Logistics Center U24 opportunity, RFA-RM-27-015, are due on October 2, 2026. All applications are due by 5 p.m. local time of the applicant institution. Learn more about these funding opportunities at commonfund.nih.gov/primed-AI.
Welcome. I'm Emily Greenspan with the National Cancer Institute. Rui and I are here today to talk about the PRIMED AI Validation Center. The purpose of this NOFO is to create a validation center for the PRIMED AI program. The Validation Center will serve as a dedicated hub for evaluation and characterization of AI-enabled, image-based, multimodal clinical decision support, or CDS tools. It will support the translation of tools and algorithms through benchmarking and independent evaluation. The Validation Center will also identify unmet needs in the PRIMED AI consortium and address them through modular software tool development projects and/or other identified solutions. Finally, the Validation Center will support adoption of AI-based clinical decision support tools into clinical workflows. The Validation Center for the PRIMED AI program will serve as the consortium's dedicated hub for validation and quality assurance. It will work closely with other PRIMED AI consortium members to ensure PRIMED AI tools are reliable, reproducible, and generalizable, as well as adhere to ethical principles. The Validation Center consists of 3 integrated cores: validation, translation, and fast track, that you will hear more about in a moment. Finally, the Validation Center will contribute to move trustworthy AI tools into clinical workflows. The overall budget for the Validation Center in year 1 is up to $2 million in direct costs. For years 2 through 5, the direct costs per year are $3,200,000. The project period will be determined by the scope of the proposed project, with a maximum project period of 5 years.
I'm Rui Pereira. I'm with the National Institute of Biomedical Imaging and Bioengineering, and I'm here to follow up on Emily's presentation of the Validation Center by describing the cores. The first core is the Validation Core, which is the hub for independent, rigorous validation of PRIMED AI CDS tools. Through sequestration and annotation of independent multimodal data that it will allow for that data to be used to assess real-world performance of tools developed by the consortium. The Validation Core will also establish reference benchmark datasets and proceed with error mitigation and uncertainty quantifications of algorithms developed in PRIMED AI. We also asked the Validation Core to develop model cards or something equivalent that will detail the provenance, applicability, uncertainty, and accuracy limits of tools developed by PRIMED AI. The second core is the Translation Core. The Translation Core will support translation of PRIMED AI algorithms from evaluation into clinical practice. Its goal is to establish tools and metrics for monitoring accuracy and model drift across time and deployment contexts. To promote sustainability, the center should ensure that tools can be used by the broader research community, not just within the PRIMED AI ecosystem. And the Translation Core will support the interaction with regulatory entities, for example, through modular performance assessment tools or independent test assessment programs or any other clever idea that you can come up with. The third core is the Fast Track Core. And the goal of the Fast Track Core is to identify and address unmet clinical and data science needs in the PRIMED AI areas of interest. The core kicks in fully at year 2 and goes all the way to year 5. And so its goal is to, once those gaps are identified, develop solicitations, evaluate proposals in coordination with the steering committee to support modular software tools and/or other needs as sub-projects. Up to $1.5 million per year must be budgeted to fund these collaborations with other PRIMED AI consortium members and/or external collaborations to PRIMED AI. This application is a U54, and all the standard U54 review criteria apply. In addition to those, here's a few that we want to highlight that are important to address in your application, as there'll be scoring criteria. How effective is the proposed plan to validate, interoperate, and do uncertainty qualification on potential algorithms of different sorts? What is the track record of the proposed team in relevant areas, namely how do you collaborate across sectors, data aggregation, independent model validation? Does the team have experience in real-world independent evaluation of AI algorithms? And what approach do you propose to manage this complex consortium, both as a whole, as a team, and as individual cores?
Thank you for joining us today for this informational webinar. The PRIMED AI program team plans to host live question and answer sessions in the coming weeks. Details for these events will be posted to our website, commonfund.nih.gov/primed-AI, and distributed through the listserv. If you'd like to subscribe to the listserv, go to go.nih.gov/Z6E8R. View recorded webinars of the other PRIMED AI funding opportunities at commonfund.nih.gov/primed-AI/webinar. Find answers to frequently asked questions at commonfund.nih.gov/primed-AI/FAQs. Lastly, feel free to contact us with any questions at odprimed-ai@od.nih.gov, where we will match you with the appropriate scientific expertise. Thank you for your attention and for your interest in PRIMED AI.